Well, November is National Adoption Month, and there are kids right here in Allen County that need adopted. And joining us today from Allen County Children's Services, she's supervisor in charge of foster care unit, Ann Jenkins. And thanks for coming today.
Thanks for having me here.
Okay, so we know it's National Month coming up. How are adoptions in Allen County going? I mean, kids are getting adopted, I assume.
They are. We've actually had 12 adoptions so far this year. We actually have one scheduled for the beginning of next year, so we're really excited about kids getting that permanency through adoption.
You say scheduled, so is it a long process? I mean, if people say, okay, I want to adopt a child, how does it work?
So if a family is already approved for adoption, children in the state of Ohio who are in the permanent custody of any county agency are considered what we would say free for adoption. So they are, rights for parents have been terminated and they can go through that adoption process. If a family does not have an approved home study, then what we do is approve them for it. So they have to go through the process just like our foster families do and go through training and a home study and all of that.
So is it better to start out, be a foster parent and then you can become a parent, or that's not necessary?
That's our preference. I mean, if you can become a foster to adopt parent, you would get preference for any child that becomes or comes into the permanent custody of our agency. But if you want to just do adoption because you're not interested in foster care, we also approve families for that too.
Is there a number? How many kids are up for adoption right now that need a forever home and some loving?
So currently in our county, we have 10 kids that are available for adoption, anywhere between the age of 3 and 17. And then we also have kids, right now we have at least 12 that are being adopted by the foster homes that they're currently in.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then unfortunately we have 5 kids that are in other foster homes that are not licensed with us, but they're being adopted by their foster family too. So, the more foster homes we have that are licensed foster to adopt, the more our kids can stay within our community and be adopted by those families.
Do you think that when you hear, I'm going to be a foster parent, do people get afraid with that? Because I know you're out there trying to get more foster parents. What are the big questions that people have? And maybe what are some of the things that they're shying away and you're like, no, you shouldn't be shying away from this?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people that come to us and say, well, I don't know that I could see a kid return back home or leave. And we tell a lot of our families, if you don't bond with a foster family or with a child that's in your home, like, we're concerned about that. We want you to bond with them, and we want you to continue a relationship with that biological family if they go home, because you become that support person to them. So it really does take just a lot of patience and willingness to work with the agency, work with the kids, and then bond with that child.
Can you say, oh, I would rather have a teenage kid, or I'll take a smaller kid? Is that a possibility too?
Yeah, so through the process of becoming approved, you actually get to talk about with your licensing specialist what ages you're interested in. So you can do 0 to 18, you can do 0 to 5, you can do 10 to 12, like that's a preference, and then you could always change that at any time.
So do you have to have at least a bedroom available? I mean, what's the process to make sure that you're ready to go to become a foster parent?
So we have a licensing specialist, Melissa. She will come out and do background checks, do what's called an assessment of your home and your family. She will look through the homes, make sure that safety is in place, that there's nothing that's going to do harm or put kids at risk of harm, and make sure that they have the bed space for the kids.
Do you find that it's better that you're at the age where you still have kids in the house, or is it better where your kids are out and then I become a foster parent?
I think it's a blend of both.
Okay.
Like, we have some people who have adult kids that are moved out and they're foster parents, and we have families that have kids in their home. We also have families that have tons of kids they've adopted in their home.
There you go.
It's a good blend, but it doesn't really matter. We'll accept you if you're willing to help the kids of this county.
And one of the things you guys offer at Allen County Children's Services is, what is it, the first Wednesday of every month, there's kind of like an online thing. Is that to help out with questions and answers? Tell us about that.
We do. So the first Wednesday of the month at noon and 5:30, we have an information session where a licensing specialist will be there online waiting to answer any questions that you have about foster care or foster to adopt. So, and sometimes I'll be on that too, and we just answer questions and provide that information.
All right. So if you're even interested a little bit, ask your questions, right?
Like, we will answer your questions. Even if you're not interested in becoming a foster parent, but you have questions, join us. We'll be glad to answer those for you.
All right. Ready to help out and get kids in a forever home. Thanks for coming today, Ann.
Absolutely. Thanks.
All right, don't go away. We'll take a look at the weather forecast next.